A very warm welcome to the class, children. So, our today's topic is about heart. And so, in this picture, it is quite clear where the heart is exactly located. So, these are your two lungs, which are located inside the chest. So, we can say our heart is also located inside the chest, and it is in between the two lungs. Okay, our heart is located between the two lungs, but you can see our heart is slightly towards the left hand side of the body, or you can say between the two lungs, the heart is slightly towards the left hand side. So that is why we generally keep our hand on the left to check whether it is beating or not. Okay, so we cannot say totally it is on the left hand side, but yes, it is slightly towards the left hand side. That is why we generally keep our hand on the left and try to check our heartbeat. Okay, so what we can conclude over this, that the heart is situated inside the chest between the two lungs, and it is slightly towards the left hand side. I know you all must have been quite confused that when I say left hand side, but in the diagram it is showing or pointing out to the towards the right. Now in biology it is generally that you have to draw or label the diagrams according to your mirror image. That means if for right now you can say that if the heart is actually on the left hand side, it has to be a mirror image. If I'm lifting my left hand in the mirror, it generally it's been seen that the right hand has been lifting up. Or else if you are getting confused with this, you can imagine yourself standing inside the paper or standing inside the screen, and your heart is being showing towards itself. So it has to be vice versa. Your left hand side will be denoted as the right hand side in the image or in the diagram, and your right hand side will be denoted as the left hand side or in the image or in the diagram. I hope I'm clear. When we see the diagram, actual diagram of the heart, you will better understand it. Okay, so what we have studied, it is just in a word form. It is an organ that plays an important role in the circulatory system. It is a triangular four-chambered muscular organ. You will understand this when we see the diagram. It is four-chambered organs. How we have four bedrooms or four rooms in a particular house. Here, four-chambered, that is what it is called as. It lies in the chest between the lungs, tilted slightly towards the left side. It is protected by rib cage. And very important, what are the functions? The heart performs the functions of purification of blood and pumps it to the different parts of the body. That means whatever air we are inhaling inside, you all know it is of oxygen, right? The maximum amount of oxygen is present inside, correct? But while exhaling out, we give out carbon dioxide. So while this process is happening inside us, the blood which is being carried towards the entire body, that is oxygenated. That means it has oxygen rich blood. But when it is coming back to the heart or to the lungs, it is not oxygenated but is deoxygenated. That means carbon dioxide is present in that. So heart performs a function of purifying this blood and again changing back into oxygenated blood and again sending it back to the entire body parts. So this is the structure of the heart. For now, I have only labeled the four chambers which we are talking about. It is the right atrium, as I said. The left hand side in the mirror image, it will be the right hand side. So it is called as right atrium. The upper parts are called as atrium. This and this part is called as atrium. It is also called as auricle. Okay. So right atrium and left atrium. The upper chambers are called as atriums or auricles. So right atrium, this is the upper part, and right ventricle, that is the lower part. Same way on the left hand side, left atrium and left ventricle. So understood, upper chambers are called as atriums or auricles, and the lower chambers are called as ventricles or ventricles. So right atrium, right ventricle, left atrium, left ventricle. Okay. So as you can see in this picture, there are many markings, but just don't get confused by that. So imagine from all the parts of the body, the deoxygenated blood. Deoxygenated as in the blood which has no oxygen but only carbon dioxide. Okay, so from all the parts of the body, the deoxygenated blood is entering this pipe, you can say, or a blood vessel, which is called as superior vena cava. Okay, the deoxygenated blood from all the parts of the body is entering this superior vena cava. Once it enters the superior vena cava, this is kind of a pipe which connects the right atrium. So what we can say, the right atrium receives the deoxygenated blood. The right atrium receives the deoxygenated blood, the blood which does not have oxygen but has carbon dioxide. Okay, so when any chamber children is receiving anything, that will always relax. Okay, so when the that will always relax. So when the right atrium is receiving the deoxygenated blood through superior vena cava, it relaxes. Okay, now the deoxygenated blood is in right atrium. Now from there it enters the right ventricle. From the right atrium it enters the right ventricle. So when any chamber is passing the blood from it to the another place, it will always contract. Imagine, no, it will always contract means it's try to push. It is trying to push the blood, so it has to contract itself so that it pushes the blood to the other chamber. So in this case, because the right ventricle is receiving the blood, it will always get relaxed. Okay, so what happens, I'll repeat again, the deoxygenated blood from all the parts of the body will enter this superior vena cava into the right atrium when the right atrium relaxes. Then from the right atrium, when it contracts, it passes the blood into right ventricle when it relaxes. So can you see there is some these walls kind of a thing? Why do you think these walls must be there? Okay, these walls are there, or they are called as valves. Okay, they are called as valves. VALVES. Why these valves are there? They're kind of a door so that the blood does not flow back. Okay, the blood does not flow back. As I said, from when the right atrium has to push the blood, so what happened? Anything is trying, we are trying to push, it tends to come back, no, because of the pressure. So these valves are present. These valves are present so that the blood does not go back. So the valve which is present between the right atrium and the right ventricle is called as the tricuspid valve. Okay, it is called as the tricuspid valve. Don't worry, in the word form when I have written it already, so that for your information and so that you all don't get confused and you are aware of it. Okay, so which is that valve which is present from the in the middle, it is the in between right atrium and right ventricle, it is the tricuspid valve. Okay, again I'll repeat on the right hand side whatever is happening. It is that the deoxygenated blood, the blood which does not have oxygen, enters to the superior vena cava into the right atrium, and then it passes through the right ventricle. There is a valve which is present between the atrium and the ventricle, which is called as a tricuspid valve. The function of this tricuspid valve is to avoid the backflow of the blood. Okay, I hope I'm clear. Yes. Now the right ventricle, from there the blood passes on to the pulmonary artery. Okay, from the right ventricle the blood passes through the pulmonary artery. This is the only artery which receives the deoxygenated blood. Okay, this is the only artery, pulmonary artery, which receives the deoxygenated blood. Now this blood, this deoxygenated blood with the help of pulmonary artery, where it is taken to the lungs, children. Why it is taken to the lungs? Because whatever air we are going to inhale, that will be with oxygen, and here the deoxygenated blood will be converted into oxygen. Okay, so when this deoxygenated blood with the help of pulmonary artery reaches the lungs will take the carbon dioxide towards it, and the air which is inhaled in it, which has oxygen, will be then passed on to the lungs back again. Okay, now the lungs, what they have? They have the oxygenated blood. Pulmonary artery got the deoxygenated blood and it brought it back to the lungs. Lungs was the place where the deoxygenated blood got converted into oxygenated blood, and it gave to the pulmonary vein. The oxygenated blood is being given to the pulmonary vein. Now from the pulmonary vein, the oxygenated blood reaches the left atrium. Okay, from the pulmonary vein through the lungs, it is being given to the left atrium. Okay, then again, as I said, whenever any chamber is receiving the blood, it always relaxes. So now from the left atrium, the oxygenated blood is again brought into the left ventricle. Again, can you see these valves are present? These valves are nothing but to prevent the backflow of the blood. So in this case, in between the left atrium and the left ventricle, the valve which is present is called as the bicuspid valve. BICUSPID. The valve which is present between the left atrium and the left ventricle is called as the bicuspid valve. From here, now the blood is being taken to the place which is called as the aorta, which is the largest artery. It is the largest artery which carries the pure blood again to the different parts of the body. From the left ventricle, it carries the blood through the aorta to the all parts of the body. Aorta is considered, children, as the largest artery which carries the pure blood. So let's see in the word form, how does it say? Right atrium gets the deoxygenated blood from all the parts of the body through veins. Right ventricle pumps this deoxygenated blood into the pulmonary artery, and the left ventricle always pumps the blood to the farthest part of the body through aorta. That means left ventricle was the end part from which the oxygenated blood is being sent through the aorta. As I said, remember, aorta is the largest artery which carries the oxygenated blood, so it is sent to all the parts of the body, that is farthest part of the body. Let's see how I have just jotted down the working in a flowchart. Superior vena cava receives the deoxygenated blood. Okay, then it enters the right atrium, which relaxes. Correct. From the right atrium, it reaches the right ventricle. Correct. And from right ventricle, it passes on to the pulmonary artery. This is all deoxygenated blood. Okay, deoxygenated blood from this through the superior vena cava enters the right atrium, which relaxes. Then right ventricle, it enters. Then through pulmonary artery, it reaches the lung. So this is all the deoxygenated blood. So what does happen during the contraction of the right ventricle? The backward flow of the blood into the right atrium is prevented by the tricuspid valve. Then in the lungs, the deoxygenated blood gives up the carbon dioxide and picks up the oxygen. Thus, in the lungs, the blood becomes oxygenated. I hope I'm clear, children. Okay. So now the deoxygenated blood is reached the lungs and now it has turned into oxygenated. Now what happens? Now from the lungs through the pulmonary vein, the oxygenated blood, where it enters into the left atrium, which relaxes. Then it enters into the left ventricle, which then contracts, and the oxygenated blood goes to the aorta, which is the biggest blood vessel. And from the aorta, where does it reach? It reaches to all the parts of the body except the lungs. So, okay, deox the deoxygenated blood which has turned into oxygen, where in the lungs. Then from the lungs, where does it reaches to the heart? It reaches to the pulmonary vein. Okay, the oxygenated blood is through the pulmonary vein, reaches the left atrium, then it reaches the left ventricle, then this oxygenated blood reaches the aorta, and from aorta it reaches to all the parts of the body except the lungs. So during the contraction of the left ventricle, the backward flow of blood into the left atrium is prevented by which valve? It is the bicuspid valve. Now the oxygenated blood releases oxygen to all the cells. When it has reached to all the parts of the body, what does happen? The oxygenated blood, that means the blood which has oxygen, releases all the oxygen to the cells and absorbs the carbon dioxide again from them. So when this is a different part actually, children, for that we need to see another video wherein how this exchange of gases take place, that when the cells absorb the oxygen, at the same time they're giving out carbon dioxide. Okay, so that becomes, and the deoxygenated blood again then flows back to the heart. Okay, so this is the entire process which occurs. Again it will come back through from all the parts of the body to the superior vena cava, and again it will start. So that is why as the blood comes two times, it is called as double circulation. I hope, children, I have cleared this part. If you have anything to ask me, you can obviously put it in the chat, put it in the comment section, and let me know whether you like the video or not. And if you want me to make any specifically any topic videos, please do let me know and put it in the chat box. Thank you.